Thank you.
And I just want to comment before on your curriculum question. One thing that well, let me remind the public of two things. Number one, this is our second year in the Grade Center model. And this district has been through a lot. And we've had or experienced reductions more so at the middle school than the elementary. So our progress of the curriculum at the elementary is slightly faster than it is at the middle school. So there's a degree of patience that we, as administrators, as the Board of Education, as the public, need to be mindful of for our teachers, because they have purchased new curriculum and they're looking to purchase even more curriculum. And as part of our reduction, we took out professional development. We took out the professional development to do exactly that, to differentiate the instruction. And when I say differentiate the instruction, we don't want the wombats, the buzzards, the bluebirds, and the eagles. We treat our kids as if they're all equal and they progress in a different time frame, in a different context. And so kids are going to level at different rates. That's a competency-based education. They're going to go at a different rate. And so we want to be very mindful of what we say in the public, because we want to treat all kids at the rate at which they learn, and we have to be respectful of that. So we agree that there needs to be an accelerated program. We're a little bit faster in the elementary in our movement than we are at the middle school, and I'm hopeful we can continue that. But I think the teachers have done an excellent job at both schools in taking this into consideration. But it's going to take some PD. It's going to take some extra work that the individuals are going to need to do outside the school day, and we're hopeful we can add that item back into the budget so that our teachers will have that ability to work on that during the summer and take into consideration exactly what was spoken about here today. But there's a little bit of a growth that has to take place, and I just want to make sure we are mindful that we have professionals here and we support them in their endeavor, even though they've been through many, many things. And I think this is the first year we've been able to really settle down to take a good look at where we're at. So I just want to make that comment to the board, to the public, and especially to the teachers who worked incredibly hard.
Thank you. Correspondence, we received a couple pieces of correspondence. There is a piece from the S&P rating agency that we'll go over in finance to kind of talk about what S&P rating is thinking about North School District 80 and its bond that it has. Received 7 FOIA requests. We'll go right into presentations. Do we have any presentations? No presentation. Administrative reports, Dr. O'Malley.
I'm very excited to have on the agenda many teachers that are going to be renewed. This is a good day in this district. I feel like we're in a much better position financially to hire back many of our staff, some of which showed up tonight, so I'm very proud that they showed up. They've worked very hard, they're very patient, and they've been through some trials and tribulations, that's for sure. So they're on the agenda tonight, they're in the consent agenda. I would also add that we've switched our model to mimic the elementary model, where we have 2 psychs and a social worker dedicated to our students. It's a SAT team, which is basically a student assistance team at each of our buildings. So we were more successful, especially in the data. We were more successful in our model at Lee, so we're going to mimic that model here at Giles. And what we're going to have in place are 2 school psychs plus a social work, and that's going to give us not only the SAT team, but the social and emotional development, which is a big component of not only the state, but this district. So that is on the consent agenda, and I want to make sure the board is aware. We will be posting for a social worker and also for a psych, and when it's approved here, we'll post it online. We'll inform the association as we're required to 5 days in advance, and we'll go from there. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the Board of Education.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. O'Malley? Thank you. Go to board committees. Board Policy and Development. We have our first reading. Since we approved this, there's been 3 more updates. So there's 2 updates in the book. So please review that for our next board meeting to discuss if we agree or if we want to modify any of those. Communication.
There's no report, there was no meeting. However, I did want to follow up with Tim, if you've been able to meet with the mayor about going over the infographic to be distributed in possibly to be distributed in the water bills.
I did call and leave a voicemail looking for dates that all can jive because per President Schumer's request, he wanted a member of the finance, member of administration, and someone that had a part in creating the information. So we're just waiting on the dates to see what works best for everyone to get together. So as soon as that response is through, I will have a response for the board with the date that works.
Okay, I'm scared the longer that we wait, the more obsolete or the more problems there may, you know what I mean, there may be. And this was what you, I think, believe it said at the last meeting that this, I mean, the hope was, I think, that by this meeting, that meeting would have happened with the mayor so that we could decide if this is something that's actually going to be able to come to fruition or if this is something that we in turn will then go to the school and see if there's any ability to print it and mail it out there. So if we could get the ball rolling, I think everyone involved would be appreciative.
Call was made, waiting on response now.
Great, thank you. On finance, I'll start off with, if you, in the board packet under correspondence, the S&P rating agency reviews the rating and the financial standards of our district, and you could read the short couple page report, but the bottom line is the long-term rating has been increased to an A+ stable rating, so which is a much better rating than what we had before. So the last 2 years, they do note in there the financials of the last 2 years of reducing our expenditures, which basically caused that that rating to go up. Is there anything else that you want to add to the finance? Nothing. Thank you. Negotiations we'll talk about in closed session. Park District.
Norwich Park, we're in process of rescheduling our meeting. The other committee member was not available, so we had to reschedule. I will notify the board as soon as we have a date for that.
Great, thank you. ISAB delegate, Mike.
March 7th, 2019 is the West Cook Division dinner meeting. It's over at Schiller Park. District 81 is hosting the dinner, so I don't know, those of you who are running for the board, if you're interested or not interested, I could get you more information regarding it. I think the ISAB does a lot of good for us, and you get a lot of learning from there. So if you're interested, we can get you to go for the dinner.
Are they going to have a workshop for candidates for running?
It does not have that right now. I know that they have had it in the past. I'm going to give Nancy a call.
Okay.
And see on that. So.
All right, great. Thank you. Old business, new business. So we have our first reading for the board policy update. Up there. So at our next meeting, we'll go over the board policy, the proposed changes, and we'll have an opportunity to modify or accept it. Second is the proposal of the educational calendar for the years 2019 and 19-20 school year and 20 and 21. So that is attached to the agenda. So basically, it's the same schedule that we have currently. It rotates the committees and the meetings out there. Any questions about that?